You know, I am glad you are all mad at D.C. I'm glad you're mad at them up in Washington. That is good. We want you mad. The madder, the better. But here's what I'm here, coming up from Columbia, to tell you. We want you mad at the folks in Columbia, too. You need to get mad at your state government. Here's what they did this week. While you were paying taxes, they were raising them. $34 million in fees here, another $24 million over there, and that all comes straight out of your pocket in one of the worst economic recessions in years. And guess what, folks? At least this administration in Washington owns the fact that they like big government. The leadership in Columbia tells you they're fiscally conservative, responsible legislators. That's the difference. I'll tell you something else. Because I've been around a while, so have you. I know what they're going to say in that State House in Columbia. And what some in the media are going to say. They're going to say we're crazy. Right? Yep, they're going to say it. They're going to say, oh, those crazy fringe people. I want to put that in perspective today. Is it crazy to want open, transparent government so you can see where they spend your tax dollars and know how they vote? Is that crazy? No. Is it crazy that we want to decide best schools for our children and the best healthcare providers for ourselves? Is that crazy? No. Is it crazy that we want to invest in our businesses, our ideas, our visions, and our own futures with our money? Is that crazy? No! You know what? I'll tell you what I think is crazy. I think it's crazy that we let 170 legislators shut the doors and decide those things for us. That's crazy. Because you know who's getting paid? Legislators, staffers, lobbyists, consultants, lawyers. That's why they spend $21 million of your tax money. That's right, folks. State budget. Hear it now. It's not $5 billion, and it's not shrinking. The entire state budget is $21 million, and it is growing. And it grew this year. It grew this year. While they furlough teachers and law enforcement and tell us we can't afford all of those things right now. You know what? It is time to make some changes. Time to make some changes. Because here's the thing. Those guys want to run the economy. They want to decide and pick win, lose in the economy. What I have to say is, how do you think they're doing with that? How's the result of politicians' investment strategy? I can answer that. You know I can. Here's where we are. Here's where we are. We have one of the lowest per capita incomes in the nation, one of the lowest graduation rates in the nation, and among the lowest student achievement levels in the nation. That's where we are. You know what's one of the highest in the nation? South Carolina's unemployment rate. That's one of the highest in the nation. And that, I'll tell you why that is. Because they don't believe what we believe. You want proof? Here's what one of the most powerful senators in South Carolina said. And by the way, this is one of the 3 people who runs our state. Here's what he had to say. Quote, if we let the free market work, we'd be back in the 1800s.
Lindsey Graham.
You know what I say back? With all due respect, Senator, the way you run this state, we never left the 1800s. We've got to do something about that. The House leadership, when we put the word out and when others stood up and said, you do not record your votes, House leadership said, and I couldn't make this up, that's a waste of taxpayer time and money. A waste of your money to record their votes every time for the public? I don't think so. Transparent open government is not a request from a timid people asking a favor from a benevolent dictator. In the United States of America, open government is a right. It is your right. American soldiers don't risk and sacrificed their lives to protect a secret government run by a handful of politicians shutting the doors in Colombia. Some of those folks have been in office longer than a lot of you have been alive. And that is not why our American military signs up. In fact, I asked a member of our military, why do you serve? Why did you join? And he said this without missing a beat, because I believe everyone should serve their country out of a sense of duty and pride in America. Now, that attitude of public service is one they could use a dose of in Colombia, because they aren't supposed to be decision makers with your money and your education choices and your health care and everything else. You know what they're supposed to do? It's real simple. They are supposed to be stewards of our limited tax dollars. They are supposed to be protectors of our rights and defenders of our freedom, and that is all they are supposed to do in government. That is all. They talk a lot about how they're going to put you back to work in Colombia. I'm going to tell you something. You can quote me on this. They don't have a jobs plan in Colombia any more than they have a jobs plan in Washington. You know who has the jobs plan? You have the jobs plan. You are the ones who will generate American prosperity through the only thing that has ever worked: American free market capitalism. Because without economic freedom, you have no equal opportunity. And without equal opportunity, there's no equality, and there is no majority rule, and there is only one thing, and history has taught us this: tyranny rules when you do not. It is a black and white choice. And we have gone way too far off track in this country and in this state. We don't have to prove that letting Americans and South Carolinians generate their own prosperity, we don't have to prove that works. America has already proven that a free market ensures a free people who can and will generate that prosperity. We have been the place to which millions have looked for inspiration and hope and proof that individuals and a nation will thrive when they are allowed to do so in a country that holds as its most valued principle inherent human liberty. We have got to restructure this government to ensure a balanced, equal, separate power system in Colombia. Our legislature dominates, and that has not worked for this state. Transparency, open government, and unleashing capitalism. Those are the things we've got to do. So, how are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? I'm going to give you a little bit of help. I know you all are busy, and you don't have a lot of time to research the issues and pore over your legislators' voting records. But guess what? I got good news for you. We do have the time, and that's what we do at the South Carolina Policy Council. So, I hope you want to check out our websites. The South Carolina Policy Council at scpolicycouncil.com. This card over at our table over there, passing them out. Read about the issues. The side government won't tell you. TheNerve.org, where government gets exposed. We're doing the investigative reporting the mainstream media doesn't always get to. Unleashing Capitalism SC, that's where you can read the roadmap back to prosperity and fill this bookmark out. You know what this says? It says to your lawmaker, and we will send it for you. Read Unleashing Capitalism. That is what we want in this state. And finally, you want to know how your lawmakers vote when they vote on the record? SouthCarolinaVotes.org. We will have every legislator's record. We will have the issues searchable database. You can find out. No more hiding. No more hiding your voting record in South Carolina. I want to close by saying this. You are proof. See, they don't think you're listening. You know what one of them said the other day in the paper? Yeah, I see these rallies. They don't really affect what we do inside. You're proof that citizens care. Protest every single day.